Hi everyone, I'm teaching a new live class this May called The Joyful Writer. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's bringing the joy back into your writing life. Now, I'm teaching this class because I work with so many writers, my clients, my students, people that I talk to on social media. I work with so many writers and I talk to so many writers who are unhappy in their writing lives. And it doesn't have to be this way. A lot of writers actually don't even know how unhappy they are. They're just so used to it. This is what they've known for so many years now that they think this is what the writing life is like, that you're just unhappy. Some symptoms of being unhappy include procrastination, perfectionism, dreading sitting down to write, having a lot of anxiety about writing. When you write feeling a lot of shame or a lot of guilt, not ever being able to make time for writing, and then when you do make that time, getting nothing done and feeling shame and guilt about that. It could feel like you're stuck, it could feel like you're bored, it could feel like you have no inspiration. There's a lot of different ways to feel unhappy, but if you are unhappy, once I start naming some of the ways that it can manifest and feel for you, if you are an unhappy writer, you'll more than likely say like, oh yeah, that is me. Like I'm not happy in my writing life. I don't feel fulfilled by it. I feel a sense of dread when I sit down to write. That's what this class is all about. We are going to shift out of that state of feeling so miserable or even just bored, somewhere on the spectrum, wherever we are on the unhappy spectrum. We're going to shift out of that back into joy. It is possible. And if you've forgotten how joy feels as a writer, to remind you, you're going to feel excitement. You have that sort of delicious, bubbly feeling of new ideas. It can almost feel like falling in love. You know, you have a lot of energy. You wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I want to get to work. I want to do that thing. Like, I'm so excited. You might wake up in the middle of the night excited about it. You feel a renewed sense of hope. You feel like things that seemed insurmountable before now seem like, oh yeah, I can get that done. I just need to break it into enough steps, but it's totally doable. So you have that renewed sense of hope and that enthusiasm that you can bring back to your writing life. Now, I've worked with hundreds of writers. I've been a writing coach for over 8 years now. I've taught online classes for a while. I've worked with tons and tons of writers who've made this shift happen. So even if it seems impossible for you right now, if you're like, I just don't know if I can ever get out of this pit that I'm in, you can get out of this pit. I've seen it happen, and I've seen it happen with a lot of writers. It is possible. So many writers tell me, why would something like this work? Nothing else has. Like, I've taken these seminars, I've taken these crafting classes, I've bought all these books on story structure, writing craft. Everything just makes me feel more disappointed. Everything makes me feel less hope, like I'm just doing it wrong. I can tell you, when all of that stuff hasn't worked for you, all of the traditional writing techniques and methods and tips and tricks, something like this more than likely will work for you. Why? Because before you were going in the wrong direction. All of those writing craft books, all of those techniques, all of that stuff, it's not that you were wrong, it was that it was a method that was wrong for you. It didn't fit the type of writer you are. Writers are all unique and we all work in a different way, especially intuitive writers. If you're a highly sensitive person, if you're an empath, if you're highly creative, if you identify as an INFJ or an INFP personality type, more than likely all of those other methods didn't work for you because you work differently than most other writers. And that's actually really common for the way you are and the way you're built as a person. So a class like this, The Joyful Writer, that I'm going to be teaching in May, we're going to start over. We're going to get rid of all that stuff that we knew, and we're going to go in a different direction. We're going to go in the right direction for us, and we're going to figure out what the right direction for us actually is. And we're going to do it together as a group. That's very, very important. So many writers are isolated and alone. We're going to be doing this all together so we can support each other, we can keep ourselves accountable, and we won't feel so alone. So if this is sounding like something that you're into, something that's calling to you, if you're watching this and you're like, I'm kind of really getting maybe like a yes on this. This feels good. I want to, see what this is about. I want to know more about it. Please keep an eye on your inbox. I'm going to be sending out another couple videos in this series answering questions about the class. The next video, I'm going to be talking specifically about one of the biggest problems that unhappy writers have, and that's with overthinking. So many unhappy writers just get up in their head and they can't get out of their head, and they stay stuck there and totally frozen and paralyzed. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in the next video: overthinking, why it happens, how to stop it, how to get out of it. In the meantime, that video is going to be coming out in a couple days. If you have questions about any of this, if you have questions about the class itself, how much it costs, the format of it, please send them my way. If you have questions about your own writing problems, or you're not sure like if a class like this would apply to you, please send me an email about that and we'll get it figured out. I'm at writecitysf@gmail.com. That's writecitysf@gmail.com. There's also a contact form on my website, laurensapala.com, or you can leave a comment in the comments box below. Also, please feel free to share your experiences about being an unhappy writer right now, what you're going through, some of the common problems and struggles that you've experienced. It's all helpful to all of us writers to share your own story. So I'd love it if you do that. But like I said, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and please keep an eye out for the next video on overthinking. Bye for now.